What's super cool about this is, if you didn't know, the PlayStation Vita has never had a fully functioning emulator before, and they do have a Mac and Linux versions available that are working on something like the Steam Deck as well, which is super cool to see. And I can't wait to move this project over onto my Steam Deck and begin working on it because that's so huge. But there are some issues with the Vita 3K that I would like to go over in this video just so you're aware of them. But I have nothing installed for the Vita 3K. However, I do have it fully installed on a drive, so I can show you at the end that it is functioning after you play a little bit of a game, but it does have some issues. So let's go ahead and hop into an internet browser and show you guys what's going on with Vita 3K. So I am on my Brave browser. I'm going to go ahead and type in Vita 3K, and we're going to go to vita3k.org. Okay, so right off the gate, right here, it says the world's first functional PlayStation Vita emulator. There's a little bit more to this that it's not really discussing. The Vita 3K emulator is also running the PlayStation TV emulator within it, so they're packaged together. What this means is in the future, it's possible that lightweight PS3 titles and also PlayStation Minis and the PlayStation 1 dumps might also work on this. I don't know if there's any PlayStation 1 dumps that were on the Vita alone that were remastered or anything along those lines, but if there is, that's huge. It's a great opportunity for us in the community to begin archival work of the Vita. Now, I can't show you where to get games. I never can show you where to get games because that is technically a form of piracy. I have to advocate that if you are interested in something like this, you find another video for you to be able to dump games yourself. Um, that's just something I always have to say. So we're just going to scroll down and we're going to pick your build. Of course, I'm on Windows right now, and I will later be working on the Steam Deck. I have been requested to do full emulator guides on the Steam Deck since I always talk so positively about it. So I will probably do that at a later date, but I need to learn every emulator first. So we're just going to go ahead and grab the nightly. We're going to make a file on our desktop. We're actually going to make two. So we're going to name one Vita 3K, and you could do this wherever you want. And I'm going to name another one Vita Resources. So next we're going to open that folder, and we're going to move all of the Vita 3K files into the Vita 3K folder that we created. We can then close this, launch Vita 3K. You're going to get a Windows protected your PC. What this is Vita 3K is unsigned program since it is custom built, which means that you're going to be seeing something like this because it's unsigned. We're going to go ahead and boot it. Now, before we get going, I want to state this is buggy. The system is imperfect. The GUI can crash the emulator. It's got a lot of work that needs to be done on it. So right here, we're going to change the emulator path. We're going to go to my desktop. We're going to go to the Vita resources, and we're going to select that folder instead. Next, we're going to have to download the firmware and font package. Let's go ahead and download the font package first. This is a GitHub pull. Then we're going to get the official PlayStation software, the update 3.74. Because I'm using Brave, this will not download. It completely blocks anything that's a .pup folder. So I have to open it up in Edge. We're going to keep that file. Now we're going to go ahead and pull up the downloads folder. I'm going to cut these and I'm going to put them here. So they're right here now. Let me move these over here actually so you can see them. These are what they'll look like. We're going to go to install firmware here. This is going to open up the Vita resources folder. We're going to move those into the resources folder there. And we're going to take a look at the size of these files. So the 55 kilobyte is going to be your font package, and the 130 or 1.3 megabyte is going to be your software. We're going to go ahead and do the fonts first. Then we're going to do the firmware. Make sure you keep these in that folder that you created for resources. Those are going to be important. They're successfully installed. We're going to do grid mode, and the initial setup is done. The system will then close. You can go ahead and relaunch it. Create a user and go into your test, and now you have a Vita emulator. So a couple things that are important to note here that I want to teach you all real quick is if you go to help and Vita 3K update, it'll show this is the latest version. But assuming you're not on the latest version and the update continuously crashes, what do you do? My experience with this has just been to open this folder here, head on over to the Vita 3K website one more time. Go ahead and download the nightly one more time. This is assuming you need to do an update. So right here is the latest version of Vita 3K. Take this, copy it, and simply drag and drop it in here and overwrite it. And the system should relaunch just fine. You'll get the protected your PC, more info, run away, run anyway. And you are officially working with the Vita emulator. Next, you're going to want to go to your configuration settings. You're going to go into core. You're going to make sure that's automatic, CPU, dynamic, GPU, Vulkan. Turn on enable anti-aliasing. Put this at 4. Save. System. Leave that alone. Here is PS Vita or PS TV mode if you want that. I'm just going to leave all of this alone. You're going to leave all of that alone. You're going to leave this alone. And you're going to leave this alone. Save and close. Okay, so now that you have one set up, again, I can't show you games or nothing like that, but here's some rules of thumb that you can use so you understand how to run this a little bit better. Number one, Vita 3K will not use any of the VBK or VPK files. These are also known as vitamin files. Anything that is dragged into vitamin Vita 3K and uses those files, it'll immediately throw a flag that it cannot be installed and it will not work. That's important to note because a lot of games that are posted online use, like, I believe it's called hen files or hen dumps, which dumps everything into a VBK and installs via a VBK, if that's what it's called. However, if you want games to work, it needs to be official dumps of the games. So as you can see here, I have quite a few games installed on mine. I don't have a lot of games on my Vita. I didn't have a lot of games on my Vita, but according to my PS3, these are the ones that I owned, which is awesome to see. But it does work. If I go in here, let me just real quick, I need to settings. No, stop it. Just want to show you that the application is working. And what's super cool is if you followed along with my Magpie video, you would know that Magpie is incredible. And you can actually run Magpie alongside this. I think the only one that I have that doesn't work right is a Tamil Blade, but I haven't tried Call of Duty Declassified yet. However, I am looking forward to playing this. using an Xbox controller. So if you don't know, the PlayStation Vita has a lot of things involved, including like it had a touch screen, it had the back touch pads. Keep that in mind as it might not work. So we're having graphical issues, as you can see. So there are imperfects here and things that need to be worked on in order to get games working. So make sure you're paying attention to the Vita updates. That way you're getting the latest updates. I can't wait to see some of these games fully function and go in depth on them. Anyways, that is essentially how you set up the Vita 3K system. If you're interested in following along with these developers. Now, there are a couple other things I want to get into that, I showed in my RPCS3 video. Let's go ahead and hop into that. So if you go back to the Vita 3K website, let me make this main capture again. One of the important things to take a look at is compatibility, of course, and check out their compatibility list. And you can click on playable, and this will tell you if the games that you're trying to play will work. There's quite a lot of them. There's, in fact, 300. And as you can see, like, Call of Duty is not on here. I don't think Gravity is either. No. So I don't think I have any games that are fully playable on this. I believe that in-game, I don't know. But anyways, that's about it from me. I hope that you found this useful. Um, Best of luck to this team. This is super cool to see. I remember back in the day, I used to laugh at Vita 3K because I was like, well, they haven't made any progress. I think in like 10 years or something. It was insane. But it is functioning, and there are games playable, which is super cool. A lot of them are JRPGs. Vita was known for its JRPGs. But like things like Hatsune no Miku, Project Diva X, Soul Sacrifice Delta, Tales of the Innocent R, Freedom Wars, Persona 4 Golden, The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. So if you're interested in any of those games, go check this out. This is a super cool project, and give them some love. Make sure you donate to the team, become a patron, and support their efforts, because this is one of the things that we need to support. This is archival work at its finest. And yeah. If there's any other emulators that you guys want to see setup guides for, let me know, and we can get to work on that. Have a great one.